Rosa, first of all, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Share for listeners what you do and the name of your business.
Okay, so my name is Rosa, and I am the owner of So Chic Home by Rosa, which is a staging company, and we serve almost all of New Jersey.
Wow, that's a big area to cover.
It is, it is.
I think that I love having an exceptional stager on the podcast. I love having talks with staging companies because I think that the service is so vital to marketing a home correctly and getting a home under contract quickly and just, making the presentation the best that it can be, right? So looking forward to sharing maybe some tips and advice later on in this conversation for listeners. Where are you from originally?
So I am originally from New York. I was born and raised in the Bronx. And then when I was 16, my parents purchased a home in Yonkers, New York, Westchester. And then when I was about 25, 26, they decided to move back to Portugal and retire. And the rents were so expensive there that I had friends that lived in Jersey and they were cheaper in Jersey at that time because it's
Hmm.
probably not the case now. So I rented an apartment by myself in Jersey and then I've been here since then.
Excellent. And what part of New Jersey is home base?
Warren, New Jersey.
Warren
Yes.
is.
And then my warehouse is in Mountainside, New Jersey.
Oh, that's pretty close to the city. I'm not familiar with the area.
With no traffic, it's about a half hour, 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Obviously, because of the traffic, it always takes a little bit longer.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So what were you doing prior to starting your own company? Were you in the staging industry prior to start going into business for yourself?
No, so I was in the interior design business for 20 years.
Okay.
When I went to college, at that time, my parents put me through college, but at that time, I always have loved interior design. But at that time, my parents were old school. And when I told them I wanted to go to college for interior design, they were like, that's not a career, So I took business management. And when I graduated from college, I actually interviewed with Coach as a receptionist. And then I interviewed with this company called Bergamo, which is in the D&D building in Manhattan, which they only service interior designers in the D&D. And that was as a customer service position. And I actually took the job because when I walked in and saw everything that had to do with interior design, I was like, all right, this is where I want to be. And I ended up being there for 22 years. They were eventually bought out by another company, but I stayed with them and moved my way up into outside sales. So with outside sales, I was working with all the interior designers in New Jersey on their projects. So I would service them in the sense that I would help with whatever fabrics we had, furniture, lighting, etc. And then about 6 years ago, I got laid off because the company started going under. And I remember I got laid off in February. It was February 5th, 6 years ago. And I told my husband, I said, you know what? My kids were still in grade school. And I said, I'm going to take these next couple of months until through the summer and spend time with the kids, and then I'll look for something in the fall. And I think I was home for 2 weeks and someone reached out to me, a real estate agent, saying, hey, I have a listing that I can't seem to move. And I know you have an eye for interior design. Would you be able to come here and just give me an idea of what I can do to make it stand out? And I remember I came home, grabbed a whole bunch of pillows from my house, greenery, took it there to the house. And I think a week later, the house was under contract. And I posted it just for fun on social media saying, hey, just keeping myself busy, not realizing I have a lot of friends that are real estate agents. And I have a very close friend of mine who owns a brokerage. And she reached out to me and said, hey, have you ever thought about doing home staging? Which I wasn't very familiar with it at that time. And let's just say about 2 weeks after that, I started staging. So I didn't stay home for the 6 months. And 6 years, here we are later. It's a super successful business. I can't even keep up. I'm so busy, but I love what I'm doing. I really, really am enjoying every minute of it.
Isn't it amazing how that happened just by coincidence and by chance you were introduced to the world of staging homes for sale and turned out to be a perfect fit for you.
Yeah, perfect fit. And I work more than I did when I was under someone's payroll, but I enjoy what I'm doing. And it's a big
Yeah.
difference, right? There's
Yeah.
nothing like working for yourself.
I totally agree. Yeah, it's much harder, longer hours, really never any time off or away. Can never
No,
really turn it off anyway, but it's so rewarding
it is.
and a lot of fun
Yeah, it is a
most
lot of fun. I love it.
most of the time. Yeah. Your social media presence is pretty strong. That's how I discovered you in the first place. And how instrumental has that been in your marketing, your social media marketing?
I think social media is what brings me the most work. Obviously referrals too, because
Sure.
I get so many referrals. Every agent, they're doing an open house, someone asks who staged this, and then it's a ripple effect, right? But social media has also helped me bring it up to the next level because I think nowadays that's what everyone looks at, right? If you're looking for
Yeah.
someone, you go on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I actually hired because it was becoming stressful trying to keep up with that content, and it's so important that you're constantly putting something out, that I hired maybe about 2 months ago. I hired someone that took over my social media. They're doing my reels, doing my content, and even that has gained me so many more followers and phone calls and work. So it's crazy how important your social media is. It really is.
Absolutely. And the marketing in general is so important when it comes to business ownership, regardless of your trade or skill or the product or service that you're providing, whatever your core business is, the marketing side is so important and not something that you can turn off no matter, whether you're busy or not. It always has to keep going, right? That marketing
Exactly.
machine.
Yeah.
And delegating that to someone, especially the social media part of it, to someone who can focus because social media marketing is a full-time job.
It is, and it was
Honestly.
taking up so much of my time, and it's
Yeah.
stressful too because you want to make sure you're putting out the right content. And I felt like my page was just becoming very repetitive, so I wanted to change it a little bit where it attracted people more to stop and look. They don't just want to look at a house every time you're done staging, right? They like to see you. They like to see you collaborating and being a part of it. So it was really important and it saved me so much time and energy. And again, that stress. Okay, what am I going to post today?
Yeah.
So it was definitely worth every penny that I decided to do that.
Yeah, I can relate. It's that creative brain power can be a little exhausting sometimes, right? When we have to
Right.
sit down and
And I
think
have to
of,
be creative all day. So I
right.
don't want to be creative at night either. I just want to relax.
Yeah, thinking of the captions, how what to write in the caption, how to make it look and how to format it and the photos and everything else and the reels. It's just I do it all myself right now. I can't wait until I finally am able to delegate that to someone else who can focus on that primarily while I focus on other areas of the business.
It
So,
is. It's so
yeah,
important.
I agree. So you started the company about 6 years ago. Sounds like you hit the ground running, got busy pretty quickly. What does your business look like today? Do you have a team?
I actually, believe it or not, it's sort of become a family business. My husband owned his own business, and that sort of started going bad about a year and a half ago. And I was like, listen, I need someone that I can trust that is taking care of the inventory because there's so many moving parts. I don't think people realize with staging how many moving parts there are, right? It's not I don't just get there and snap my fingers and the house looks beautiful. There's planning, there's pulling inventory. So my husband joined forces with me and my two teenage boys do all my pickups for me. So it's really and then I have a moving company which those guys have been with me for the 6 years, the same guys. They move in and out of the properties for me, which is great because they know where all my inventory is. They know how to pull it, put it back. So it's really smooth, like it's a really smooth running company right now. Like
Huh?
knock on wood, like it's really running very smoothly. I have a great team. There's like I don't think there's anything better. I mean, some people might disagree, but having family, I think it's really great.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that that's really cool
Yeah.
when you can bring family into the business because yeah, when it works, it's so, great because
Yeah,
you
and
know
you
them
can
so
trust them,
well and you
right? You know
trust
they're going
them.
to take care
Yeah.
of your stuff. You know they're going to be careful. So I think it's the best decision we all made.
I love that. That's really cool. Your sales background must really help as well, because I'm a firm believer that, again, regardless of the product or service that a company offers, a small business or any size company, really, the founder, the owner, the CEO is responsible for bringing business in, and you're selling. So whether you're an orthodontist or an attorney, or
Absolutely.
you're selling your skills, your business, yourself all the time. So I feel like that sales background must have really helped you a lot when it comes to onboarding new clients and bringing in new business.
Right. Well, I think with the type of industry I'm in, I think it's about building good relationships with your clients, right? And when you have a good relationship with your clients, when you say you're going to be there on a certain day and you are there on that day, because they're on deadlines also, right? Like a lot of them, I tell them, listen, if you want to schedule pictures for that same day, you can, because I will be out of there by a certain time and you can schedule your pictures. And I feel that that is why I get so many referrals, because I build a really good, a lot of them have become friends. I build a really good relationship with my clients. And what does that do, right? Then they start referring you to everyone else.
Yeah.
So I think as far as sales, that would be my sales, is that I have to nurture every relationship that I have.
Yeah, that word nurture, that's what was coming to mind as you were describing that as well, nurturing those relationships. And yeah, I mean, nothing's better than a referral,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. And
They
I think
base
my business is grown based solely really on referrals.
and the social media marketing, I mean, that provides a lot
And
of
that too. Absolutely.
proof, right? As
Yes,
well.
because when someone new reaches out, I'm like, all right, here's my Instagram handle. Take a look.
Yeah.
And right there, they can see all my work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is Instagram your primary social media
Yes,
channel?
it shares onto Facebook, but I don't get much interaction on Facebook. Instagram is, and I have TikTok too, but most of my everything, like that interaction, is all on Instagram.
Yeah, I feel like Instagram's probably the best platform for someone in a visual business like a home staging
Yes.
company, or of course, real estate in general, really, really kind of performs well on Instagram too.
Hmm.
You mentioned a little bit earlier that there's a lot of misconceptions about what a staging company does, what a professional stager does, and the parts of the business that might surprise people. Share like some areas of the business, some things that you have to do in order to run a staging company.
Right. So obviously, inventory is the most important, right? I have to make sure that I always have enough juice. Last week, I staged 2 houses a day. So think about that. And that included Saturday. So that was 12 houses in one day. And I have to have enough inventory. It's really, listen, I don't even know how to explain it, because it's a well oiled machine and we run it, but there's a lot of turnover, right? So I have houses to do, and then I calculate which houses are coming back. And then from there, I start picking. And obviously, there's still inventory in the warehouse, but there's so many moving pieces. I still have to do the walkthrough, right? So if someone calls me and says, okay, I have a property for you to stage, I have to go there, do the walkthrough. Then from there, I'll send them pricing. Once they agree to the pricing and they want a contract, I send a contract with the date of the install. Then from there, it's deciding, okay, what inventory are we putting on the side for that? The day before that install, I have to pull every pillow, every piece of bedding, artwork, accessories, make the list of the furniture that the movers have to grab. And then it's packing everything up, loading it into the van, and then taking it to the property. So there are a lot of moving pieces. And then a lot of people tend to forget that, okay, once the house is sold, we sort of have to do that all over again, right? We have to go back to the house, pack everything up, disassemble the beds, disassemble the furniture, and then bring it back to the warehouse and allocate it to where it belongs in the warehouse. So there's a lot of hours involved in the background. It's not just showing up there and they're like, oh, because I do get a house done, I can say in 2 hours. We get it done in 2 hours. But there's a lot that happens behind the scenes, so it's not easy. It's a lot of work. It's really a lot of work, a lot of planning, a lot goes into staging.
A lot of planning, a lot of preparation going in
Hmm.
before you even show up to stage
Exactly.
the home. And then, of course, it could be a short amount of time before you have to circle back and now take everything out of the home too, right? So you have to be able to act pretty quickly. You have to be very organized, I would imagine.
Well, I think I've always been a very organized person. Even when I move into a house, every bin is packed according to the room that it's going into. So when we unpack it, it's unpacked in that room, and once the furniture is down, like nothing is mixed up. Everything is done so everything runs very fast and very smoothly. So you have, in order for it to be efficient and move smoothly, I think you have to be organized in this business, because then you waste time saying, okay, where does this go and where does this go? It's easy to have help and they know, okay, this is going in this room. It makes it so much easier.
Not to mention, of course, I'm sure my statement about being organized is pretty obvious, but not to mention the organizational skills also apply so importantly to the ability to stage a home, right?
Absolutely.
Because decluttering is such an important part of presenting a home. Are most of the homes that you do vacant, or do you go into homes and sort of restage them?
I actually just did one this morning.
Did
So
you?
the only thing I don't do, and I stopped doing it probably right during COVID, I don't bring furniture into owner occupied. The reason I stopped doing that is because more and more I'm doing a lot of high end homes and I want to maintain the integrity of the furniture, right? So if it's going into vacant homes, then it does maintain its integrity. It stays clean, it stays in good shape. So I stopped doing that. But the ones I do are I call them photo prep. So I'll do an initial consultation with someone that the home is occupied, and I'll spend an hour or sometimes more than an hour telling them, okay, this is what you need to remove out of the house. Either put it in storage, sell it, and give them an idea of what they need to do to get the house ready. And then the day of the photos, I go there, just make the beds for them, sure the beds look nice, maybe move some things around. I'll bring some plants, maybe some greenery, but sort of just make sure the house is, and if I have to still move stuff around, I will, but I'll make sure the house is perfect for photos.
I'm not sure about your area of the country, but I would suspect that it's true there as well. Here in the Charlotte metro area, I've found that the organizing businesses, home organizing, has
Mm-hmm.
become a really
Huge.
big sector of
Mm-hmm.
the market and a big service. And there's quite a bit of demand. Have you worked in collaboration with organizing
Yes,
companies
I
as well?
referred organizers also when someone, because you have to remember, some people have been in their homes for maybe 30 years,
Yeah,
and they don't realize how much they accumulate. And it's not just that, it's understanding that you're putting your house on the market. And I'm not sure about where you are, but here the closing can happen as soon as within 30 days, So it's also helping them sort out what they're not taking, whether they're donating, selling. So yes, a lot of homeowners do hire organizers to help them just sort, because it becomes very overwhelming. I've seen
absolutely.
sellers get very overwhelmed.
Absolutely. Yeah, here in North Carolina, there's really a closings cash deal with no contingencies can close in as little as a couple of weeks. So that's a lot of work to cram into just a couple of weeks.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could see how an organizing company or referral would work well, in collaboration with your business as well.
And even, believe it or not, landscapers, painters, because sometimes they should just give a nice. So there is a team of us where we'll refer each other just to help them in any way they can to get, because the outside of the house is important too to put on the market. It's not just the inside, because
Absolutely.
that's the first impression that buyers will get, is when they walk up to that doorstep. So I have a couple of people that I'll say, okay, hire this painter, or reach out to this painter, reach out to this landscaper, to make sure everything is tip top shape before they put it on the market.
I couldn't agree more. Curb appeal is so important.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have sort of a virtual Rolodex of
Yes.
preferred partners that you can refer or lean on or hire for those tasks.
Yes.
Yeah, to digress a little bit, I'm really critical of a listing's landscaping. When I approached the home, I did a video walkthrough for my local channel, my local YouTube channel, about a month ago of a new build in the lake area, and I ended up not publishing the video because the landscaping was so horrible.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful property, but they
Yeah.
didn't invest any time or effort into making sure that there's grass in the yard, or any kind of, it looked awful. So
Well, do you know what I tell all my sellers? The first thing I say to them when I walk in and I'll do a consultation is, and I tell them, a well-maintained home outside is a well-maintained home inside.
Hmm.
So if you have it impeccable outside, they already know you've been taking care of your home and that you're also taking care of the inside. And I think that clicks right away because there may be homes that are beautiful inside, but you're already turning, someone could just drive by, say, hey, I saw this home on the market. Let's drive by. And that can definitely turn away many buyers. So that is one of the speeches I give sellers when I go to do a consultation.
Yeah, don't forget about the exterior.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. How big is your warehouse?
Well, I'm currently looking, warehouses are hard to find, so we are bursting at the seams. Right now, my warehouse is only 3,000 square feet, but I have a storage container outside. For the past couple of months, I've been trying to find something bigger. I think I need to double that right now. But like I said, here in Jersey, finding a warehouse is not easy. So
Yeah.
we're trying to make it work. Right now, it works because I'm doing so many staging jobs right now, and we're constantly rotating inventory that
Hmm.
it's working. My fear is at the end of the year because it slows down a little bit.
Right.
And
When
then
it all
where am
comes
I going to put
back.
everything when
Yeah.
everything comes back? Because it does slow down between Christmas and probably mid-January, it slows down.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping before then I find something.
Yeah, same here. You usually have a little bit of a lull in the around the holidays and the first of the year, and then
Yeah.
picks back up. But yeah, well, 3,000 square feet is that's a
And that's with pallet racking. It's with pallet racking, but
wow.
I definitely need to double the size.
Need bigger. Yeah, I mean that's a pretty large warehouse. So it sounds like you have a ton of inventory.
A lot of
Yeah,
inventory.
yeah.
I mean, if I was to tell you right now, the warehouse is full, more or less full, and I probably currently right now have about, off the top of my head, about close to 40 homes staged that are out there.
Wow.
Think about it.
Wow. Yeah.
I do for the past couple of months, definitely one a day. Like I said, last week it was 12 in 1 week. So yeah, I'm gonna say close to 40 properties right now staged.
Well, it's pretty easy to find warehouses down here in the Charlotte area. So if you ever need,
Well, if I ever want to go down south
there you
more,
go.
is staging big there?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a great friend here locally who's has been had her own staging company for a decade or so, and she stays very busy. And yeah, absolutely. Most of what she's doing are new construction. We have a lot of new construction in the
Yeah, that's a
areas.
lot what I have now. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
which is a lot of fun.
I
You
love
can,
it. I love
yeah,
it. Because
you
it's
have
a
a
clean slate, right? It's a clean slate, and
absolutely.
everything now is white. It makes it so easy to get inspired and,
Mhm.
and work with it. I love it. Love it.
Well, on that topic, what are maybe some DIY tips that you can provide for agents or for homeowners in general who are getting a home prepared for market? What are some top things to think about as you're, uh, preparing the presentation of the interior of the home?
So I'll give you the spiel that I give to most of my owner occupied when I go on consultations. Less is more. Less is
Hmm.
more. So what I tell my clients is they know that they're now putting their house on the market. And as we discussed before, it goes quick. Nothing is sitting on the market. It's going fast. Closings are happening between 4 weeks to 6 weeks. So what I tell them is start now. If you're not taking something with you, get rid of it now. If there's something you're giving away or your kids moved out of the house and they need to pick it up, have them pick it up now. It's okay if the house looks empty to you because the point of when you show your house, less is more is because you want it to look bigger than what it really is. So another thing I tell them is if they walk through their home, anytime they walk through a room, if they have to divert because there's a big piece of furniture there, that means it has to go. Because it's all about playing with the subconscious of the buyer, right? In their head, if they walk into a home and they're sort of having to move out of the way to get through to another room, in their head they're going to leave thinking that house was small. So it's all about understanding what, and I tell them walk through the house yourself as if you're looking at a new home and see how you feel when you walk through. Kitchen counters completely empty. Buyers should be able to see that your backsplash is in good condition. Bathrooms, same thing. Toiletries all gone because buyers get easily distracted. So if you walk into a house and someone has a wall all of personal photos, what are buyers going to do? They're going to stop and look at those photos. You don't want them to do that. You want them to focus on the walls look great, the bones of the house look great. So any distraction should be removed. And I get the less you have out, the better. And also in the bedrooms, white bedding, make it feel like a spa. Every room should be, you want buyers to connect with your house. So if it's a specific style or color, they might not connect with that. So if you have white or neutral, everyone connects with that. So I think the most important thing I can tell to sellers is depersonalize your home and just make it feel neutral that anyone that walks through can see themselves living there.
Absolutely. Yeah, the white bedding, that's an interesting point as well. That makes a lot of sense. Is it so if someone has a home, obviously if it's not occupied, but it is furnished,
Mm-hmm.
can you do services where you swap out bedding, swap out pillows,
Right.
that
What
sort
I
of
do
thing?
with some of them, I have on Amazon links that you could get white comforters for, I believe,
Oh,
under
okay.
$40.
Gotcha.
So what I do is I'll send them the link. The one I did this morning, she bought all the white bedding. I went there, I put the bedding down, fluffed up the pillows, and I can tell you the difference from when I did the walkthrough and they followed all of my recommendations and the difference the house today, it's amazing. And I have no doubt that anyone is going to walk in now and not fall in love with the house. To them, they felt like it looked a little empty, but that's okay. When you're used to living in a house where you have so much stuff, it is going to feel empty. But for buyers, that's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Less is definitely more. Can you send me that link when you get a chance?
Yes, when they send me the photos, I'll send them to you.
That would be
We
great.
did
Yeah,
before and afters, yes.
I would love to see that, and the Amazon link as well.
Yes.
Because yeah, I'll use it for sure. The other part that you mentioned that really resonated with me too was the ease of navigating the space,
Mm-hmm.
being able to
Mm-hmm.
walk through without having to divert and walk around objects. So that could mean getting rid of that easy chair that's in the middle of the living room, or
Exactly.
that sort of thing, or maybe reducing the number of bar stools you have at the bar and in the kitchen or whatever. Um, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But less, I think the key takeaway there is less is definitely more.
Right.
Clean countertops and
And
yeah.
remember that I think when it comes to everything nowadays in this day and age, when people are shopping for anything, whether it's a car, a house, shoes, clothing, it's all about that feeling that that product gives you, right?
Hmm.
So I believe with houses, it's the same thing. And I think that's why I put so much effort and I love to, when I stage a house, it's almost like if I'm doing my own home. But it's about creating a feeling where people walk in and they just have a good feeling. And if they have a good feeling, then most likely they're either going to make an offer on your house. So that's why I say, even with owner occupied, it's so important to just create this feeling where people walk in and they don't feel like they're imposing on someone else's private personal property, right? You want them to feel like, oh, I could see myself living here exactly the way it is. So it is about creating a feeling.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I like the way you described that. That definitely makes a lot of sense. And that also goes along with depersonalizing. So
Hmm.
taking down those family photos and those personal items so that when someone walks in, they feel like it, as you said,
Exactly.
that they could live here as is. Before I let you go, Rosa, what advice would you have for anyone who might be thinking about starting their own home staging business in another market? What are some learnings that kind of stand out for you over the last couple of years about starting your own business?
For me, I'm going to say, well, again, I think there's different stagers out there. I believe there's, not that I believe, I know there's stagers out there that they actually rent the furniture and they only own the accessories. For me, that didn't work because I have a certain style that I like in furniture, and it's hard to find that when you're renting. I think even financially, it made sense for me to just buy my own furniture. It pays itself, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then obviously you're using it in different spaces. You're just changing out the accessories or the colors or the pillows. So a lot of investment went into that. When I could tell you the first 4 years, I probably wasn't bringing home a paycheck because
Yeah.
everything I made, I was investing right back into the company and buying more inventory. But like I mentioned in the beginning of our conversation, it's so important networking. In the beginning, I have to tell you that I did a lot of work for actually some famous people, and I did it for free because just to get my name out there.
Sure.
So you have to give up a lot. You have to give up a lot when you really want to get your name out there and make connections. I went to a lot of networking events. And then again, the clients that I did start getting, I nurtured them, I took care of them. Whether that meant if they gave me more than 3 jobs in a month, then you know what? The next job, I'm throwing in an extra bedroom for you. But it was doing stuff like that I built a really good relationship. And I can tell you that I've been in business now for 6 years. I'm going to say that I don't want to say 100 because I'm not sure, but 98% of my clients that were with me in the beginning are still with me now,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, like I said, I think in starting a business, it's all about building relationships. I think that's the number one. Then comes the starting to work and investing in your inventory, investing in marketing. And if that mean it doesn't mean you have to pay for marketing, but do what I did. Again, I did a lot of stuff for free just to get my name out there. So a lot went into it, a lot.
Yeah. So the expenses to start up a home staging business might exceed what a lot of people think it does, right? So,
Because the inventory is not cheap. Remember, it's
yeah.
bedroom sets, it's living room sets, dining room sets, rugs, plant. I mean, I could go on, but it's a very, very big expense.
And if you're staging, if you're a clientele, if you're aiming for a category of the market that leans luxury,
Mm-hmm.
the furniture is going to have to fit those homes, right? It's
Right.
going to have the style and the quality will have to be pretty high
Yeah.
to,
And then let's not
yeah.
forget too, warehouse space. There's rent for warehouse space. I chose to just have movers because when I looked into buying my own truck, hiring people to run the truck, the insurance on
Yeah.
moving is extraordinary. I thought that versus what I paid them to move me every day, it's one less headache I have. Because if something, God forbid, does go wrong where they scratch a wall, they have insurance, they take care of it.
Right.
But that's another expense. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's movers that I use every single day and they get paid. So it is again, it's a big investment. But if someone is like me who loves interior design, 100% go for it. 100, because you are free to do whatever creativity, whatever you want to do with the house. Most people who hire, they're like, just do your thing. They don't say, I
Hmm.
want to see what sofa you're bringing. They don't say that. They just say, do your thing. So you are free to be creative every single day. So if it's someone that does love that, interior design and they want to get away from working on a personal level with people, 100% go for the staging.
A lot of less micromanaging from the
Yeah,
client,
yeah,
right?
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah,
Versus interior design where it's a lot of edits, a lot of revisions,
exactly.
and a lot of time and patience. Rosa, this has been awesome. Thank you for sharing the those tips for aspiring staging business owners and also the tips for homeowners and realtors when it comes to maybe just DIY, just getting a home basically ready for market. Really appreciate you taking time out of your super busy schedule to join the podcast. And before I let you go, I want to ask you to share with listeners how they can learn more about your company and connect with you.
Sure. So, first of all, thank you for having me. It was
Of
a
course.
pleasure. I love talking about staging and all of this. My Instagram handle is So Chic Home by Rosa. And I have a website too, SoChicHomeStylist.com. Again, Instagram is where you're going to find all of my current work, everything that's going on in my life. I even throw in there some personal stuff sometimes, but that would be the best way for anyone to contact me. They can either message me through there. My phone number's on there, but I'm very easily accessible.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that dropping some personal content into a business Instagram account is I think helps
Because people
people
want to connect with you.
yeah, that would
They
help.
want to connect with you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
helps your followers and the community connect with you. So I think
Yes.
that's really important. I love that. I'll have a link, of course, to the website and the your Instagram account in the description for this episode, and we'll certainly tag your business on
Thank you.
Instagram too. So Rosa, once again, really appreciate it. Thanks so much for joining the podcast.
Thank you so much.